Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. This episode is being produced for GoodCrowd.info, and we're excited to have with us Gaby Porras and Paul Wilson. Gaby's a student at BYU, Hawaii, and she's a team leader for a team doing a crowdfunding campaign that you're going to want to learn more about. Paul is the social entrepreneurship instructor there at BYU, Hawaii, and we're excited to have them on the show, so you won't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another change maker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Gaby and Paul, welcome. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you so much for having us.
We're excited to be here. Thanks, Devin.
I want to just get clear that the weather in Hawaii is probably better than the weather here in Salt Lake City today. Just to make me feel worse, it's about noon there, I think. What's the temperature?
It is 78 degrees here.
Yeah, it's about 40 degrees cooler today here in Salt Lake. And that's an important 40 degrees, I will just note. But okay, enough about the weather. Gaby, tell us about this crowdfunding campaign that you're doing.
So right now, our team is partnering with an entrepreneur in Ghana who makes beaded jewelry. We're working with her to try to get her funding to kind of kickstart her idea and kind of empower her in her dream to start a jewelry company. So the current project is all the funding goes to her, and we're hoping like in the next 6 days that we can get her enough funding to really get the raw materials and kind of develop it so that she can get good quality pictures up on like a digital site within like the end of the campaign.
How did you find her?
So we have been, as soon as we kind of knew where we were going to be going, we wanted to find people who had experience in Africa. So we went and we have 5 students on our campus who are from the African continent. And so we found them and we talked to them and asked if they wanted to be involved. And 2 of them knew of people that they had skills and thought that they would like to develop them and kind of start their own companies. And so they reached out to all of their contacts, and the 2 students, Prince specifically, would be the student who recommended this young lady.
Well, it sounds like this is a pretty efficient process, that you haven't wasted a lot of money flying back and forth to Ghana. You haven't spent a lot of, you've also included people from Ghana, so this isn't kind of the white savior approach. We'll tell you what you need to do, but you've worked with them closely. Sounds like great thinking so far. Tell us a little bit more about the woman you're helping.
So Patience is 22 years old. She is currently studying to do accounting or finance, and she has been working with beaded things. She has like a passion for crafting, and she'll like sell things occasionally to her neighbors, kind of on a very small scale. And she's always kind of thought like in her head, like she wants to continue doing stuff, but she hasn't had the resources or the money to get enough raw materials. And so when she was talking to us, even when she was sending us pictures, she was like, I can do all of these things, and she'd send us this long list, but she just didn't have like the resources or the ability to get funding for any of those things. And when we were talking to her about crowdfunding campaigns, even, she was so unfamiliar. It was like a foreign concept to her that this could happen. And we were like, well, let us try for you. And so she's excited, and she's been working so great with us because we've been requesting videos, and it's hard. I mean, it would have been so much easier, right, to just fly there and be able to just talk to her in person, get all the things we needed. But like, I think that's part of why it's been so valuable, because we've learned so much about crowdfunding in Africa just through talking to her and really interacting with her.
You know, there's an idea that people in Africa can connect with their diaspora communities around the world, especially in the developed world, for fundraising. And I haven't yet seen that work. I keep hearing it as an idea. What I continue to see working is organizations crowdfunding in the U.S. on behalf of people in Africa. That seems to work. How's the crowdfunding campaign going?
You know, it's going okay, and we've ran into a similar issue. So one of our secondary objective, we were invited to teach crowdfunding. So this team of students and myself we're invited out to Congo, and we leave next week to teach crowdfunding to the Congolese, to the Republic of Congo. And so the whole reason that we reached out to patients initially was to better understand crowdfunding in Africa. And one of the things that we learned is it's extremely difficult. The only real platform out there is a Fund to Fund with South Africa, but you have to have a South African bank account to do it. And then the other challenge that we ran into is in August, PayPal pulled back all their crowdfunding support. So no crowdfunding platform can use PayPal, which Congo is supported. They can use PayPal. Patients can't over in Ghana. But with that option gone, that took out Indiegogo for the Congolese. And with Ghana, there's nothing there. And so we had to be very creative with this Indiegogo platform to be able to help her do that. But it is the same thing where we're reaching out to our own networks, and it's not really the Ghanaian people fundraising this.
Yeah, and that would be sort of what I would expect. And in fact, it would be Gaby and her friends that are really going to have to be responsible for building the network and finding the people to crowdfund. So great insights. Paul, tell us a little bit about the program Gaby's a part of.
So it's really an entrepreneurship lab that we do every week. And that's where this whole team is part of it. Gaby is the project lead on it, but the other 4 students are just as in step with her working on it. And BYU Hawaii is the most diverse undergraduate school in the United States. So we have students from all over the world. So every week we meet for 2 hours, and these students work on social entrepreneurship projects, real projects that they're working on in their country. So when the Congo opportunity came to go teach crowdfunding, it came from a former a former BYU Hawaii student. And previously, when I was an adjunct at BYU Hawaii, I taught crowdfunding, and we were really engaged there, and that's how they became familiar with it. So this group of students is part of the same sort of program we have here at BYU Hawaii that the former student was a part of. So he was excited to also have a team of students come out as well.
That's tremendous. So Gaby, how are you enjoying the program?
It is so cool. It is like, it's just a hub of probably the most amazing people on our campus. And it also creates just this really neat network with people who've kind of alumni who've been there before. And I've talked to just this semester, like 4 wildly successful entrepreneurs that came out of this little lab that they were in, and they kind of networked there. But I mean, I have loved it just because I've gotten to learn from so many people. We have people who are doing insane movements and just helping so many people around the world. And I just get to kind of like observe and like be a part of in some way all of these unique, cool, crazy projects. And this is kind of like one of those projects, but it's an insane opportunity. And the diversity of our school just adds so much to it. Because you just don't, like, when do you get to like sit in a room with like people from the Philippines and Mexico and Tonga and everywhere around the world, and they're just talking about, well, this is a need here, this is a need here, how can we help? And then they actually do it. It's funny to talk about it, but it's a place of action. There's things happening every week.
Well, it is an exciting context. Gaby, clearly Patience looks up to you and admires you. She must think of you as kind of a hero. But who do you look up to and think of as a hero or a role model?
That is a good question. I think, so I'm a senior now, and all of my professors here, I think, have just been so amazing. Like, there's so many teachers I've had here that have just helped in different ways, help me get the skills that I needed to like do what we're doing on this project, but like also in the future when I graduate. If I was thinking of somebody right now, very specifically, I would actually think of another student in our Enactus group. Her name is Carolina. And she has a clothing company that she's working on in Mexico, and she's just so neat. She's really cool.
And Paul, why on earth have you, apart from the weather, settled on teaching social entrepreneurship at BYU Hawaii?
Yeah, so I came to BYU Hawaii in 2013 to 2015 as a volunteer adjunct teacher. I was actually doing my own business and also working with a venture capitalist business. And as I worked with the students, it was only supposed to be a 1-year engagement. I extended it to another year. At 2015, we moved back to the mainland, and I missed fiercely the students. And that is the absolute reason. The career that I had before coming here was just on its projection upward, but I can't articulate the satisfaction and fulfillment in teaching. Not just, I enjoy teaching, and I've taught in other universities, but teaching here at BYU Hawaii. So BYU Hawaii, our sister schools are known for entrepreneurship, are known for technology. BYU Hawaii really has a corner on social entrepreneurship. These students give their all. I worked with a student who was a former child slave at the Ivory Coast with the cocoa beans, and they really know what these struggles are. This isn't something where we're in a classroom saying, oh, that must be horrible. This is something that they have lived through. And that's just one student of many. I've seen these students scratch to get here, scratch to stay here because it's not cheap to live in Hawaii. And then they return back to their home and make a tremendous impact. The former student that we're going to in Congo, his name's Yango. And what he's doing there, this is his 4th annual entrepreneurship conference, and really empowering the Congolese is phenomenal. And so I can't imagine once I had that encounter with these students that I wouldn't return.
That's amazing. Gaby, what's your superpower?
That's a great question because
I think probably for this specific semester, it's been just organizing, which sounds like so simple, but it was just, we had like limited understanding at the very beginning of what was needed, and we did not have we couldn't have predicted all the different little road bumps and challenges that like crowdfunding in Africa has. And so I think just this semester specifically, like the biggest thing that I've added to our team is just organizing us, kind of getting us like on point and like kind of timelining things and figuring out when things need to get done. It's so silly and simple, but I think that's probably my biggest contribution lately.
Gaby is the ultimate project manager. Like every person on our team is amazing, and they all work hard. But Gaby has really organized the chaos as it was what we were trying to figure out, what we're doing, because there's another element in this whole thing where we're doing academic research around all of this and jumping through all those hoops, because I'm not an academic by nature. Like her and the team have gone, so they're taking on a lot. They're doing a crowdfunding project, they're preparing to teach in Congo, and we're doing academic research. And it's been a sprint for several months. It's been pretty crazy. But I attribute a lot of our success to Gaby's leadership, because she really has corralled the students and the other students as well. We're only taking 4, but there's 5, and we only had enough funds with the school, which is unfortunate. But the 5th one is also right there with us working to make this happen. So it's pretty amazing, actually.
So Gaby, tell us how people can find this crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo.
Yes, it's on Indiegogo. The campaign itself is called Pangea Empowerment Patience Beads. And when you go on the page, you can kind of see all the different rewards that are offered, but also if you want to just donate, you can. And it also explains a little bit more about like the project, just talks about what Pangea Empowerment is about and kind of what the future of it will be, hopefully in future semesters. And yeah, on Indiegogo, pretty much. You
can go to our Facebook page, Pangea Empowerment. So if you search Pangea, the connecting of all the continents, Pangea, empowerment. And that's the name that our team gave what we're doing, is we're trying to bring everyone together through technology.
Fantastic. Well, I think it's a wonderful campaign. I wish you every success, and thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you,
Thank you
Devin.
so
We really
much.
appreciate your time.
All righty, let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.